And crimes like this one have an impact on our communities, neighborhoods, and families. Lawmakers around the nation are trying to change the course of America's crime problem. One way some states do that is by leaning on mandatory minimum sentencing requirements. But do they have unintended consequences? Chris Conti takes a look.
To walk a mile in Gwen Levi's shoes is to truly understand the inner workings of the American justice system.
I knew that I had to change, so in order to change, what you got to do, you have to learn some new things. You have to do some new things.
At 77 years old, Gwen Levi will tell you she knows most people do not think she looks like a drug dealer. But it was heroin that landed her here, behind bars, in 2006.
I couldn't argue innocence in my case, and I didn't want to argue innocence because I wanted to accept responsibility for what I had done.
A federal judge in Maryland found Levi guilty of dealing heroin. She was sentenced to 400 months in prison, the minimum amount dictated to the judge by mandatory minimum sentencing requirements.
To me, at the age I was 59, turning 60, at the age I was, it was life. It meant that I was supposed to be like almost 93 years old when I got released.
That, though, is how hers became just one story in the renewed national debate over mandatory minimum sentencing requirements.
The individual is not looked at. It's just a blanket case.
Here's how mandatory minimum sentences work. If a person is found guilty of, say, robbing a bank, and there are minimum sentencing requirements in the state or federal court where they are convicted, sentencing requirements require a judge to give a minimum number of months or years as jail time, no matter the circumstances.
And it takes the hope away. It takes the promise of better things to come for your life while you're inside.
One size fits all rarely fits all. Every case is unique. Every person's unique.
That is Molly Gill. She serves as the Vice President of Policy for Families Against Mandatory Minimums, or FAM.
We're not safer when we put everyone in prison indiscriminately. We need to be wise about the prison resources that we use and who we send to prison and how long they stay.
Gill says the biggest problem with mandatory minimum sentences is that they don't take into account an individual's circumstances or level of involvement in a crime.
What we know is that mandatory sentences don't make these crimes go away. We've had mandatory minimums for drugs and guns and all kinds of other crimes for 30 years, and we still have problems.
Over the last decade, 37 states have either repealed mandatory sentencing guidelines or have expanded judicial discretion, giving judges more leeway when sentencing someone to jail time.
Proposing a mandatory minimum sentence is the easiest thing for a lawmaker to do.
In some cases, it is simply not justice to let people out with a light sentence for a major crime like murder or rape.
There are plenty of people, though, who say rolling back mandatory minimum sentences takes away the rights of crime victims, including Kent Scheidegger with the Criminal Justice Legal Foundation.
Sometimes the sentence a person gets depends more on which judge he draws than what he did. And that is not just, and it sometimes results in excessively lenient sentences.
As for Gwen Levi, lung cancer and a nonviolent declaration from the Justice Department led to her early release in February.
Supervised release in the above captioned case is terminated. I am no longer involved in the United States criminal justice system.
She is now spending her days with her grandkids and pushing for change against the very same laws which landed her behind bars.
Making sure that that discretionary power, that power of second chances is not taken away, that it is continued, that it is given and expanded.
Chris Conti, Scripps News, Baltimore.